Okay, we're good.
Okay, I think we're up. Hi, everyone. Okay, I assume everyone can hear me. Oh Lord, there's an echo. Hi, everyone. So just welcoming everyone to the 2021 AGM. And Chris, there's a really weird echo. Hi, Max. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure something out because when I talk, there's a delay of a couple of seconds, so it's a bit odd.
Yeah, I don't know why you're getting an echo.
Okay, that's fine. I just okay. So I switched up.
Are you listening? Are you listening to the YouTube live channel?
I am. I know. I just realized. Anyway, shall we just get this started because it's 5 minutes past. Hi everyone. Welcome to the 2021 IDF AGM. As you know, this is the AGM to announce the results of the election, but also to let you know what we've been doing for the past year. So, firstly, I'd like to welcome everyone. Said before, and thanks for being here and listening to what we've done. So just moving on to the next slide. So this is a summary of what we're going through today. There's a short recap of the 2020 annual report. There will be a recap on the 2020 financial report and the 2021 budget. There's also a short presentation on the 2021 rate schedule. There's also a slide about moving the IDF, the broadcast deal, code of conduct, 2021 rule changes, safety improvements, and then we will introduce the 2021 to 2022 board. So could you move on to the next slide, please, Chris? All right, so moving on to the next slide. So as you know, the 2020 season wasn't great for anyone, especially sports and especially downhill skateboarding. So there was a cancellation of the World Tour, unfortunately, and our focus instead went to projects that would otherwise be difficult to complete with a full race season. So that included moving the IDF from France to Switzerland, the establishment of the Races Committee and Ambassadors Committee, which we'll elaborate on afterwards, and the RMNM negotiations, which we will update you on shortly. So about the 2021 season, there are ongoing issues relating to the pandemic. So over the 2020 year, we kept in touch with all our organizers. We reached out to quite a few through our ambassadors and tried to sort of encourage new races in new places. But as I'm sure you're all aware, there were quite a lot of difficulties in securing government assistance and permits for races. So as you can imagine, this is not high on any government's agenda. So at the moment, only 3 races so far have locked in dates. That the first one is the Thermal Speed Temple in Italy from the 9th to 11th of July. The second is Kozakov, as you all well know, the 13th to the 17th of July, followed by Volcan, which is the 23rd to the 25th of July. So whether this is a continental or regional race circuit will be a discussion the new board has to have. So it's not a decision we could make just given the lack of organizers and just the inability to actually schedule. So we've also developed a COVID risk management plan for our organizers to follow, and really special thanks to Will Stevenson of the Races Committee, who really put together this report for us. So thank you for that, Will. So next slide. So moving to IDF. So this was something that was announced in 2020 at the AGM. Why Switzerland? Switzerland is quite an attractive jurisdiction for a lot of international federations. So for the goal that we had in mind was the longevity of the IDF, low or minimum upkeep, and the ease of setting up and maintenance. So one of the problems that we found in France was that they were, I think, yearly or once every 2 years, reporting requirements that we found quite difficult to fulfill. You need to be fluent in French. You need to file it at a court in Strasbourg. And I'm sure there are the legal requirements. And previously, the former president of the IDF helped us with that, but decided that it was probably better that it was a bit more removed, so it would be easier to pass into the next board. So why Switzerland? It's most of the international sporting organizations and not-for-profits are based here in Switzerland. And this, the IDF is now based in Switzerland, so the moving over was complete. The constitution was reviewed by lawyers who are specialized in establishing associations. So, as you know, there's a lawyer for everything. The lawyers that we had to work with are the ones that were quite, well, experts in establishing associations. So the IDF seat is now in Solothurn, Switzerland. That's a state in Switzerland. So next slide, please. Thank you. So, Chris, on to you.
Oh, yeah. So we've been working with a broadcaster for the past year to do negotiations. Things would have gotten underway a lot sooner until COVID came along and changed everyone's plans. We'd like to introduce Salim. He's I believe the CEO of Race Marketing and Management, as well as Case Productions. Salim, if you would like to go ahead and give an introduction, I'll cue up your video.
Okay. Hi guys. I'm not sure if I'm visible or not. My name is Selim. I am Turkish. I live in England. I run two companies. Case Productions is a company, is basically a production company that I've been running for over 25 years now. We started 26 years to this month actually. And what we do is we work with a lot of world championship tours, and we work in a lot of extreme sports. So we'll just show you a little clip, a little show reel of a shortened version of the show reel of the sort of work we do. So Chris, if you could just play that, and then after that I'll explain what we do with race marketing.
We're on the way and explode away from the top. The race is on, a drag race for the whole show. Ready, set, go.
So that's Case Productions, which is purely a production company, as I said, and we are the official production partner of a whole host of world championships, including powerboats, jet skis, world parkour, kiteboarding, etc. And then I have this other company, which is Race Marketing, which is a rights holder company. Boarding championship, parkour as is playing at the moment, the World Parkour Championship. We're looking to do a deal, hopefully sign this with the with the IDF, and we run a World Downhill Skateboard Championship. And what race does basically is because of Case, we're traveling around the world. We have a lot of contacts all around the world with the organizers. We're looking to take lesser known sports, let's say tier 3, tier 4 sports, and bring these into the mainstream media. Now, we took parkour and we got, from the one event, this particular one you're looking at, we got over 562 hours of TV broadcast globally. The kiteboarding, the World Kiteboarding Championship, which we ran for the season, we got 2,700 hours of TV broadcast per event. Now, these are quite big numbers, and we get these to all the big broadcasters like Sky, like Fox, like, you know, depending on the country you're in. But if you're in Holland, it's Ziggo. If you're in Portugal, it's Sport TV, etc. And our goal here is to take skateboarding, because we believe it's such great content, and it's a high adrenaline impact sport, which I think definitely has a huge potential for viewership. Therefore, we believe that we can take this to the TV networks. And also what we do is we live stream all this and we broadcast. So on the parkour, we got 730,000 live views when we were running the event. So we started talking with the IDF to merge, you know, to come together, hopefully to take the skateboarding, the downhill skateboarding, to the next level. But just when we were basically set to go, we got hit by COVID. So it's all stalled by 1 year. And I think we're now pretty much all agreed. A contract has been going back and forth. And the idea is to create, you see the logo there, the World Downhill Skateboarding Championship. And our aim here is to work with IDF and get IDF as a signed up member of GAISF, which is the Global Association of International Sports Federations, which is the president is Raphael Leculi, and also to hopefully make IDF a member of ARISF. So this is for non-Olympic sports to have official recognition. And I think the way to do this is to run a world championship that has a world championship status, that's backed by a federation, which is the IDF, and we get this into global media, and we seem to be, you become the official sort of championship. Obviously, with the COVID situation, we don't know exactly how it's going to play out this year. I am very hopeful that things can happen. I don't know exactly, you know, with the new borders now coming in, I understand decisions will be taken. I am very hopeful that we can sign an agreement and possibly do with you together 3 or 4, or I don't know how many, what you're looking at doing. But what I do want to do, whether or not you guys manage to run a world tour this year, what I would like to do is get the website running, the WDSC. We've already got the website ready, but we can launch this with you. Get some social media running. And even though if we can't do a championship this year, try to get a community around the social media so that there is recognition of a world championship. And when you are in a position to start doing the events, COVID allowing, we are ready to sort of kick this into action and then go to broadcasters and say, okay, you know what, we've got 3 events coming this year, 4 events. Here's going to be 4 or 5 programs for you, and get this whole thing rolled out. So that's where we are, if that makes any sense to anyone.
Well, thank you, Salim. That sounds pretty exciting. Hopefully the world gets back to normal sooner than later.
Why, fingers crossed.
So I guess moving on to our next topic, one of the biggest complaints we've had is safety, and we want to improve safety. So I'd like to introduce the person who's been working on safety for the last year, Aldis.
Aldis, you're on mute.
Yeah, I've been muted. Okay. Hello, guys. I'm Aldis Stratmanis. And since we started this tenure in this 2019-2020 board, one of the first things that I said was we need a safety role. So I offered myself for a safety part. We did lots of things hitting the ground going on 2019. 2020 saw us already, well, as we know, not much happened in terms of real races, but we still kept working in the background, and now we have a system that, if applied, should see us fairly safe for forever. We need just to follow these guidelines. This I'm going to. The following are 7 slides. They could be slow, but we're going to go quickly. There's documents for all of this. If you want to know all the details, we just have to go to the documents that cover the safety parts I'm going to be describing. So first, we did focus on the design of the race. So the first thing is, IDF is not only going to be there to say yes or no. We're going to help the event organizer work through the design of the race since the beginning, since inception. There's a document that is very clear now that specifies which are the safety critical roles and tasks at events, and of course before events as well. We have new safety guidelines. We have race day procedures, which are the ones that are meant to be portable as well for the corner marshals, and it's a reference sheet. We also started gathering data with the downhill safety statistics. We need data for the future. We start now. We already started in 2019, and now we're going to continue whenever we start again. And we created a document for helping out selecting the crash barriers and how we install this at the different tracks. So, Chris, maybe we can go to the next slide. So, in the side of the increased focus on the designing the race, the IDF needs to be involved on the design of the race. For example, going and assessing a new track, visiting if this is a new one, for example, and we haven't held a race before there. We have to help design the protection and barrier system. We have to assess the environment around it, and selecting and educating the crew as well. So basically involved since the beginning. Next slide, Chris. Now, there is a document that, as I mentioned, was created to specify the different roles the IDF plays, and of course all the other staff at an event around safety. So this has been specified as in the organization as procedures, which is extremely important. The barriers are going to be applicable, and on the procedures on the race day. Having that cleared out should prevent any sort of misconceptions or mistakes or misunderstandings. Next slide, Chris. The safety guidelines. This document existed before, a different version. Now we have basically simplified it and enhanced it with every lesson learned to date. And this forms the basis of the next race or events designs. It's very comprehensive and, again, accessible if you want to look at it. The next slide is the race day procedures. So one of the important things is the communication. One of the most important things is the communication on race day. The coordination between open road, closed road, lifts, who goes up and down, it's very, very important. Now, for this, there's a simplified sheet that is to be plastified and carried on by every corner marshal. We discuss these procedures at every morning meeting on an event, not only once, not only before the race, but you know, there's changes. Maybe a corner marshal didn't show himself. Maybe they're taking care of a different corner. Maybe something happened and it's a little bit different than the day before or the way it was thought of. So this needs to be covered every morning. And on these procedures sheets, this reference sheet, even phone numbers are there. Everybody needs to have clear what needs to be done at every point in the race, in the day. So this is together with the next slide, which is the cheat sheet. This is the cheat sheet. The other one is the statistics. Here it is. This is the first part, but basically it's like a half an A4 classified page. And now we go to the next slide, Chris. With that together with this, which is downhill safety statistics, for those of you who have been working in any sort of big organization like manufacturing or procurement or services, there's something called a stop card. Stop card is whenever you see an unsafe action, you record it and then you have something that was acquired in the moment. Well, taking more or less the same thing but applied to statistics, we have this one. If you go into the next slide there, that is the REMDSS, the downhill safety statistics. This is going to be the basis of acquiring the data that is going to be analyzed on the next few years, and it starts now. It is simplified. We went through several models of it, several iterations, and now this one is has all the necessary data and not more than that. We're not going to be filling one of these for every unconsequential fall, for example, any sort of yellow flag or no flag. We don't need to fill that, but we need to count the number that there was a fall there. Now this is only going to be for red flags. Okay, let's say serious injuries, any broken bone, or even a dislocation, whatever makes the track stop for the moment, that needs to be recorded. And then we go on to the next slide. The safety, the crash barriers considerations. There's already been many events held on worldwide, even before this last IDF board, and some excellent, some lacking, some good examples, some bad examples. This is a compilation of all the possible scenarios, and I'm sure we can come up with some more scenarios and some more solutions. This is supposed to be a growing document. But it has a recap on the way we can stack the hay bales, what other sort of protections we can use in this on the racetracks, what kind of hazards there are, what kind of what is the consequence of this sort of hazard if unmitigated. So it is a big document, available if you want to download it from the IDF or for event organizers, of course. And it's kind of technical. I already saw some people saying, well, you know what, it shouldn't be that technical. Well, it is technical, and it needs to be, because this is our own health, our own life or death that we are taking on our hands. So the next slide just a picture of somebody racing, but basically, yes, together with all the other things that we mentioned, these are the basis of the new design of the new races from now on. Thank you.
Grace, are we going to do this one, or am I going to present this one?
I can do that. I thought, yeah, I can go ahead. So just to update everyone, so the Races Committee, I think you've seen the elections in relation to that, and I'm sure by now you will be well familiar with your representatives. So basically, it was to bring back the voice of the race demographics to the IDF decision-making process. So as you know, with a lot of organizations, when you're looking to ramp up and become more professional, there starts to be a sort of divide. So there's one body that plans, and then there's races, and slowly that sort of divide increases. So this was a direct connection to the board, where someone from a continent could say, okay, well, I'm not happy with something. I don't want to talk to the board about it. They don't understand. I'm going to talk to my continental representative. And you can do that now. So the races are welcome to attend board meetings and report back to races. So we have a few people that sit in and listen. They give us suggestions, they give us feedback, and we've really appreciated that. So familiarize yourselves with who represents you, get in touch with them. But of course, you're always welcome to contact the board directly. So Will Stevenson and Sabrina Ambrosi have been our most active racer committee members, so thank you for that. They've put in a lot of work behind the scenes. Will has provided a lot of excellent feedback, a lot of documentation, so a lot of heavy lifting there. Sabrina as well has been doing an amazing amount of heavy lifting in Latin America, getting people aware of what's happening with the IDF, and because as you know, there's a bit of a language disconnect. So she's been really crucial to that process. So thank you to both of you especially. We've also started the Ambassador Committee. So this is comprised of volunteers from around the world who are committed to expanding and growing the recognition of IDF and downhill skateboarding, street luge racing. So the function of this Ambassadors Committee is to they are all longboarders or lugers, but their function is more of to get in touch with government to see how they can organize things, to start up sort of local bodies if necessary. So we have actually established ambassador committees of people who have reached out to us from China, Serbia, Cyprus, Australia, and Egypt. So these are places where it'd be amazing to have a race, or at least try and grow the community there. So we have been in touch with them. In fact, there may be an upcoming race in Cyprus, or at the very least a free ride. So we're trying to sort of coach them to the process, because as you know, standard of racing has changed a lot. You know, a 50 km/h road is no longer acceptable. But with a much faster road, there's a lot of there may be a lot of red tape. They may be it just may be a cliff and guardrail, and they wouldn't know how to protect it adequately, or they wouldn't know how long a race should be. So the road may be 10 kilometers, but you know, ideally your race is a bit shorter than that, especially if you're going 80k an hour or more. So these are the people we are still working with. So as you can understand, the progress has been a bit slow just given the pandemic, but rest assured it's still there. And I think that's it for the Ambassadors Committee. So moving on to the next slide, please. On to you, Luis.
Well, that's me. Hi, I'm Luis Mogrovejo. I've been the treasurer for this 2 years in the board. Right now, we are seeing the financial report for this 2020. We had the memberships on the income, and also we had some expenses like legal expenses and some other stuff we were paying from last year, and some things we paid for the 2020 season that didn't come. But yeah, quick summary of the financial report. We are down 19% on our memberships from 2019. A lot of the members turned down their membership because of the COVID, and that has impacted us negatively in our finances. We renewed GoPros and accessories for the GoPros. We bought some GoPros to expand our media coverage in the races, and we had some legal expenses this year because we moved the IDF to Switzerland. That's kind of a summary for the financial of 2020, because we haven't had that much financially happening this year. Moving on to the 2021 budget. If there are races, we have this. We have 800 members right now on the payroll. We will sanction, if we have a full circle, we will have also some money coming in, and we have some expenses like marketing, hosting, moving the timing system, and also the legal expenses that come with the IDF being in Switzerland and all the things we should cover there. And there's also a 2021 budget without racing, which would look like this, mainly with the 800 members paying and some expenses coming from the legal side, marketing, promotions, and the web hosting that are basic for the IDF. And that should cover finances. Oh, main investments for the IDF in 2021. We had to move the IDF to a country where it's easier for us to manage this financial stuff, all our legal stuff, because as Grace said, we had to fill in a lot of the paperwork in French, and also that spent a lot of time to doing. We are sending 3 IDF officials to each World Cup event and 2 for WQSs, so we keep on the standards on each event. We're investing more on the race promotion via marketing and social media. We also hired Sabrina Ambrosi this year to make all the promotion on social media and manage the IDF social medias. We also have to collaborate with regional media partners and individual events organizers for quality content and coverage, because all of our own media is not enough to promote the IDF. We need to increase in that, and also with Sabrina we increase the use of the tools in media, because we're increasing some of the statistics in media to get higher reach. Then on to you, Chris, I think.
Yeah, so thanks, Louis. So we have a few things that we wanted to dive into last year in sort of the long off season we had. And one thing we talked about is we decided we had lots of people talking about doing drug testing, and drug testing is time consuming, it's expensive. It's even getting cheaper, but it's still, I think drug testing is still a long ways to go for a sport as small as ours. But a breathalyzer is something we can do, and we started talking about this about a month ago, so back, and we got some blowback on it. And there's a couple issues I would like to point out. Sponsors don't like drunk athletes racing. We've actually lost some sponsors over the last couple of years due to racers who were drunk on the track. In addition, there's a safety factor involved. Quite a few people sounds like they are racing drunk, and we want to put a stop on that. Now, we're not trying to stop the party. A lot of people say that race is an excuse to party, but there's time to party after the racing is finished. So we picked up a breathalyzer. This thing was going to travel with the timing system. What we're going to do is we'll test random racers throughout the entire event on both practice, qualifying, and race day. If you refuse to take the breathalyzer, then you'll be DQ'd just as if you are blow over the limit. We're going to start at a reasonable limit, and so we set it at 0.08. This is something may drop in the future. We've had a lot of people ask why not just start with 0, and we want to see how this goes and kind of ease into this. But this is the breathalyzer. The next issue that we had is we had some problems last year. So we decided to rewrite our code of conduct. IDF has always had a code of conduct. It was embedded in our rules, and most of the code of conduct involved racing procedures, things like walking the course and knowing your limits and so on. So we've expanded this code of conduct. We borrowed some verbiage from the IOC ethics code of ethics, and basically we added. I split it into 3 separate sections. We respect your fellow riders, officials, spectators, everyone. Respect everybody else. The next section was respect the venue. Leave the venue clean. Don't deface the venue. We've had reports of just things being trashed and so on. And so just keep the place clean and tidy and useful for the next person. And then the final one is respect yourself. And most of this just resolves around, make sure you know the course, make sure you know your limits, make sure your equipment is in good shape and so on. So that's the code of conduct. We pulled that out of the rules, and so it's a separate, easily accessible document for everyone to take a look at. But really, the important thing about this is just to show respect for everybody else. Whether you like someone or not, just show them respect, especially new riders. We want to be one big happy family, and everyone should be welcome. So just show everybody a little bit of respect. And I guess at that point, it's time to introduce the new board. One of the things that we have done is we've tried to set up the board to be diverse as possible, continental-wise. And so we ordered the board by the votes that came in, and the first person was selected from a continent, and then we move on to another continent. So this will all be explained in a document we have being published on the website momentarily. But here's our new board. We have our Eric Breitwar, Max Stubler, James Hopkins, Zach Madam, Lewis. I'm sorry, Lewis, I can't pronounce your last name.
No worries.
So you guys, welcome to the board, and give them all the help they can use over the next couple of years as they continue to keep IDF running.
Thank you everyone for attending the AGM. So the floor is open for questions. So I haven't quite seen any questions, but feel free to type them in and we'll just wait for a bit. And just so you know, we will be meeting with the new board shortly. So if there are no, we can handle questions there from the new board, but also if you've got any general questions here, that would be great.
So there's I don't know if you have any questions out here in the live chat. One thing one question I want to head off. So last year, early in the season, we purchased a whole new set of GoPros in anticipation of an exciting racing season. We purchased the GoPros, late January, I guess, and they came in time for our races in Australia, and then basically the world shut down. So if everybody's wondering why we purchased GoPros last year, that was the reason. So let's see, Joshua Bird is asking about tech inspection. I believe we mentioned in the AGM last year in 2020 that we wanted to restart tech inspection. I've actually written a document to help tech inspectors tech inspect quickly, but the idea is to make sure that equipment is standard equipment and meets our safety standards. Can we say who the country ambassadors are? I suppose we could, but I don't have a list available. I don't have a list handy.
Yes, so we could say who they are. We'd like to, but we just don't have the list to hand at the moment. And also, I see a question. If downhill skateboarding is represented in GASE under World Skate, and the plan for IDF becoming a GASE member would bring some kind of friction with World Skate? So no, not necessarily. So it's sort of an accreditation process. If we're accredited with this, it doesn't necessarily mean there's friction with World Skate. I guess perhaps you could say that we occupy a similar place, but at the moment we're the only federation that's providing a world circuit. So not really, if that answers your question. Yeah, prize money for champions. So here's Dita. Sorry, I don't know who that is. I'm not sure if that's your real name. It's because it's been quite difficult to sort of invest the money. So if you look at the financials, that barely covers a full season. So this is the first season where we've had exits just because we've had nothing going on. So it has to go back into development at the moment. As soon as we're actually making money, or as soon as the IDF is actually getting sponsors, then of course we should have a prize pool. But at the moment, it's not something that we can conclusively say we can provide. Of course, it's something we want to provide, but it's not something we can say that we will at the moment for any certainty.
I'd like to add on to that is that the race marketing management is planning on doing some prize money, but again, that is going to take a while to ramp up and bring up to fruition. Let's see. Shorts is asking or mentioning about videos and training for corner marshals. This was actually one of my goals this last year, was to put together some training material, but it was very difficult to do. Well, it was pretty much impossible to do with COVID going on. At least for me, we could have probably done it separately, but that is something I think on the timeline. Then the new board will have to take it over. One of the board's responsibilities is to give out licensing, so that's something that needs to be on the books.
Yeah, Chris, Ulrich here. One of the things I would suggest for the next board is, first, remember the IDF is still a board, an organization made out of racers. They own racers. This is the IDF. This is not a business. This is us racers. And one of the things we could do is actually get contributions from skaters saying, hey, you know what, I have just read that crash barriers document. I have a perfect picture here. I have a perfect scenario or video or something, or maybe I can give a 1 minute training. Precisely because of these COVID rules, it has been very difficult to go out and film, and we wanted to do that. But of course, the next board is going to say yes or no. But I suggest contributions from skaters for videos. That probably would make it much quicker to populate lots of different sort of videos. Of course, vetoed at the end by the IDF and approved or not. Hopefully, with cooperation, as I mentioned before, this needs to be all a cooperation between skaters and the IDF. No, we are skaters.
So we have a question from Kevin Reimer. When will riders have clarity on the broadcast deal so they can understand how it benefits the IDF and its ridership? I'm not 100% sure the best way to answer that question. I think at this point it'll be up to the next board to present this information.
Yeah, it'll be up to the next board to decide if race marketing management is where are we aiming to go, and if that is the goal, then the membership will know. But right now it's just a project, so right now it's just ideas we have with them.
All right, I think we're coming to the end of the AGM then. So for the new board, could you please wait for the next 30 minutes? We're sending you your emails with login shortly, and we will be meeting on Skype. So expect those emails, and we'll see you in about 30 minutes. Thank you all for attending, and thank you for the outgoing board. Thank you for your very hard work during this very difficult environment. So thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you guys for coming to the AGM. See you soon.